4 Sydney kids are now allowed to see their dying dad in Brisbane after the Queensland government granted them exemption to cross the border. However, they have to quarantine for 2 weeks and wear full PPE gear. Today we're joined by Bruce Langbourne, the kids' grandfather. Hello Bruce, how are you?
Hi Christy, how are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Now, you've received such a huge outpouring of support from around Australia and across the world, I believe. $200,000 raised on GoFundMe. How does that make you feel?
Oh mate, it was absolutely unbelievable. I mean, when it was suggested to me last night, I was quite embarrassed and didn't want to do it, but I was sort of pushed into it. But yeah, it's unbelievable the outpouring of support we've had. I don't know how to say thank you.
Whose idea was it to set it up?
A friend of my daughter's suggested to her that he would set it up. I mean, yeah, just incredible. It was completely blown out of all proportion.
And to think the Prime Minister has put his hand in his own pocket to donate $1,000, you must feel over the moon to have his support in all of this.
Oh yeah, and he hasn't spoken directly to us, but I've been just different things he said. I believe he's been supporting us the whole way through as well. Yeah, but no, it's fantastic, absolutely.
I know he's been pushing the Premier to look into these exemptions a bit more and to have more compassion, but he can probably make laws that stop all this as well. Do you want him to do more, or are you happy with how he's approaching things?
I'm happy with how he's approaching things, but basically, if I were to make the law, but to go through now and make a law to change that, I don't know if it's in the Constitution or not, which means you need a referendum, or even if it's just a law change. The amount of time it would take to get that through Parliament, things could be completely different.
So what journey do the kids have ahead of them now?
Well, at the moment, we have been suggested means of getting up there, which was what you said before about being in quarantine and being in full PPE equipment when we see him. There's a lot of things wrong with what was suggested, and we're trying to get that changed. I do know this morning that Queensland Health are contacting my wife this morning to discuss it further. I haven't heard at this stage what changes or, if any, have been suggested. I'll hear about probably a little bit later on sometime today.
Yeah.
All up, we only have a small time frame that we can get to see him because of the chemo and because of his toxicity after the chemo. So we only have a small time frame, which is basically from next weekend upwards. It's another month away before we get up there. So, geez, here's hoping something can be resolved today.
Do you know what that visit's going to look like? If they're sending security? Are you seeing him at the house or the hospital?
We've been told, the original suggestion is we're told we can drive in, we go drive straight to the quarantine hotel. We stay at the hotel. We have been taken by special taxis with security and monitors. We go to his place in full PPE equipment, including the kids. We had to stay in full PPE equipment the whole time. We've been visit him, then get taken back to the hotel, and we have to stay there again till the next day. So I mean, the kids themselves, and this is one of the things I find really difficult, is the kids themselves basically being in disguise. So he's not really going to see his kids, but he's going to see these young people in disguise.
Yeah, and also, how did you feel when you saw Sarah at her father's funeral in the PPE gear?
I've seen a bit of that story the last few days. I mean, and I get emotional just listening to it. I mean, it's hard. I mean, we're going to go through that in a not too distant future. So yeah, I definitely feel for her, really do. In fact, my daughter has tried to contact her on Facebook this morning with the money that it's been raised by this GoFundMe page, which is about 220,000. We're going to offer to pay her costs while she's in bed too.
That's an incredible, pass on of generosity from the Australian people, and I'm sure Sarah will be over the moon when she reads that message. So quarantine was about $16,000 for your family, and you're going to give some of it to Sarah. Do you know what you're going to do with the rest of it?
Well, we're going to sit down. We're going to talk about it as a group to make decisions. I mean, this is only thoughts and suggestions at the moment. I mean, we're going to have to put some money aside to pay for Mark's funeral. We're going to put money. My 40s will put money away aside for the kids, so they got something when they get a bit older. Maybe we donate to put a trust fund there to help pay for costs for other people that go through the same situation as us. maybe donate to a cancer charity. I mean, we haven't really fully organised it all. The only thing I know we definitely won't be doing is partying.
Yeah, there's not much partying you can do at the moment, but yeah, I'm sure you've got enough to think about at the moment, and so don't put yourself under too much pressure to decide. After your experience, what message do you have for the Premier and for the Chief Health Officer after what you've gone through?
All cases need to be looked at as an individual basis. I mean, the Chief Health Minister from Queensland says, oh yeah, we've let the footballers in, we let Tom Hanks in because we're providing employment for people in Queensland. I mean, that's great. I mean, I can understand that. That doesn't worry me. But by looking at those as individual cases, everyone else should be looked at as individual cases too. If they treated everyone exactly the same as they treated those, then there'd be a lot more compassion and a lot more thought put into it. But there's this blanket bans, no, that's full stop, you can't go.
Yeah, there seems to be double standards going on.
And I don't blame Tom Hanks, I don't blame the footballers, I blame the health department in Queensland for double standards.
Well, Bruce, what a day. I'm so happy that you can all go up there now, and look forward to hearing when you finally have that permission solid and granted and can make your way up there to spend some time with Mark. And yeah, all the best for the journey ahead.
Right, thank you very much.